Hello, everybody. It is great to be here one more time today. And my name is Gary Fowler, and I am the CEO of GSD Get You Done Venture Studios, a premier AI and quantum venture studio located in the heart, yes, the heart of Silicon Valley, Palo Alto. We love artificial intelligence and quantum computing. We invest in companies all over the world to democratize opportunity and to help them go global. Because intellectual capacity is evenly spread, but opportunities are not. I've been involved in 17 startups and 2 unicorns. I was on the original management team of Click Software, which was sold to Salesforce for $1.35 billion, and also the co-founder of Viva.ai, which was sold last week. So with that, I would like to bring my incredible guest, Alex Nascimento. Alex is a best-selling author and blockchain faculty member at UCLA. Yes, UCLA. He lectures on blockchain business application security tokens. In addition to his role of managing director of 7cc Blockchain Investments, a company focused on supporting and fostering the blockchain industry, Mr. Nascimento wrote the book, The STO Financial Revolution, Uncovering Regulated and Compliant Fundraising via Blockchain. He's got an MBA from UCLA and the Anderson School of Management and developed training, marketing, and blockchain strategies for companies in the US, EU, Latin America, and Asia. So with that, I'd like to bring Alex on board. Hi, Alex.
Hi, Gary. Thanks for having me.
Great. Yeah, no problem. Hey, I got a question for you. So you went to Fordham, right, for your bachelor's degree?
Yep.
Why in the world did you go to Pontifica in Rio de Janeiro for a master's degree in marketing?
I'm Brazilian American, so I graduated, and I have this very lucky situation that happens to me that every time I graduate from a degree, the market crashes. So I should definitely short the market. So I graduated in right after September 11, and then moved back to Latin America to work down here in some tech companies, and then did a master in the local Pontificia University, and then went back to California to get my MBA at UCLA.
Now, are you in Brazil right now?
Yeah, I'm currently in Rio. I'm flying back to LA tonight.
How is it, Alex? I mean, is it safe walking around? Because I hear a lot of different stories from my friends that are in Rio. I mean, like they're driving their cars on the street. You got to be really careful. Is it true?
It is an emerging country, so obviously, you have your risks and your profiles that are not similar to what we experience in the U.S. But there is a lot of opportunity here, and obviously, there's a lot of tourism. Rio is the city that most receives inbound flights in Brazil, but we have an office in São Paulo, which is the New York of Latin America, and I welcome anyone that's listening to us to pay us a visit in São Paulo.
No, that's great. And so where'd you grow up in the States? Where'd you grow up? What city?
I actually grew up in Rio, but I moved to the States to do my education and been there since then.
Interesting. Okay, so let's talk about. So, what made you decide to get into blockchain? I mean, your bachelor's degrees in economics from Fordham, right? When did you have that moment where you said, "I'm going to get into blockchain"? How long ago was that?
I was always in tech. I graduated from Fordham and continued doing tech. And then, coming and going from the Silicon Valley and doing startup investments, I met some of the folks that were working on the MetaMask and Ethereum project. This was like 16 and change. And then really saw enterprise application. I confess that I took a look at Bitcoin in 2009 right after graduating from business school and being through the financial meltdown. But I really saw enterprise application with the utilization of smart contracts on the Ethereum blockchain, and then started investing in some of the startups in that space. Obviously, you didn't have to do much of an analysis back then. The market was just rallying so much. And then in 2017, when Bitcoin went from 1,000 to 20,000, UCLA wanted to do an initiative and have a study group and a lab and a student group and push more of this frontier technology across campus. I was lucky to be one of the co-founders of the then UCLA Blockchain Lab, which is now Blockchain at UCLA. We have more than 500 students as a student organization looking at the technology.
So, you've been in this a long time, so you know about Ethereum. What's happening with the market right now? Because Ethereum's, they're taking a dive. What is it? Is it just a cycle we're in, or is there a fundamental change?
So what is it today? May 12th, right? So if this will never leave the internet, it's good that we put a timestamp on it. So I think that we have a shift in macroeconomic movements. It becomes clear that after adoption of crypto by institutional investors are seeing crypto as a risky asset on their portfolio, right? And then as the Fed has a hawkish behavior of raising interest rates to control inflation, institutional money, just like it has been doing forever, de-risks its portfolio. And de-risking its portfolio, crypto comes along in that strategy. It didn't help that stable coins got slashed in the middle of it. So I think we're in a cycle, but I'm pointing this out. We saw similar levels of Bitcoin in July of last year, and then 4 months after, we saw a record high, almost reaching 70,000. So if you ask me about Ethereum, it is an interesting moment to buy. It's very close to the 200-day moving average, and we're in a year of a merger of Ethereum, proof of work to proof of stake. So definitely in a utilization of enterprise-grade solutions on the Ethereum blockchain, which is only going to grow with Ethereum 2.0. So a good opportunity for acquiring that asset if you have liquidity.
And what about what do you think with interest rates, with the war and everything else that's happening? Looks like interest rate and inflation, looks like interest rates are going to be up. Is that going to continue to have an impact on the cryptocurrencies?
It's challenging to say how cryptocurrencies behave. People look on chain, and I think that on chain data, it's more like past data than future signals of market behavior. Interest rates will likely continue to rise in the short term, which historically or textbook wise will continue to move money into long-term fixed income. So, if everything goes along the textbook, you will continue seeing a de-risking of portfolio, and that process, crypto is one of the assets that is considered risky. But if you think about a macro environment, I think we are in a cycle. And if you believe in decentralization, if you think Bitcoin is an interesting asset, I think it's just a matter of time and a matter of like a quarter or less to see an uptick again. Obviously, like I said, the thing that got me into blockchain, and I saw that this was a frontier tech, was the enterprise application of smart contracts. So I don't see enterprise grade use of smart contracts together with AI, which is your bread and butter, going anywhere, right? It's not like we're going to go back to analog phones or stop using AI and just call it a day and hide behind the rock or underneath the rock until the market rallies again. So, I think that it's a reflection of the Fed and the macroeconomic situation that we're in.
I have another. I had a conversation with Purnea, who's the head of the quantum lab at Harvard, and she was on my show. And we talked about quantum, a slow quantum computer is 100 million times faster than the fastest supercomputer, Alex. So by comparison, what does that mean? I like to paint pictures with words. It means that something would take 10,000 years on a supercomputer, takes about 200 seconds on a quantum. We're talking about blockchain being cracked and crypto being cracked between 2020 this year and 2027, right? With these nefarious quantum computers that are out there tied with AI. What do you think in terms of the blockchain? I mean, have we factored that into consideration, and what kind of ways can we make it even more secure than it is today to be able to stay away from some of those heinous, nefarious characters that are out there?
It's a very good question. I wouldn't say that this is something, for sure, but it's probably one of the best theses that I've came across regarding the risk of quantum computing and nefarious attacks into blockchains and side chains and different pools of liquidity, right? I think that one of the base factors is there are already some blockchains out there that are evolving into quantum computing proof, or bulletproof against quantum computing hacking. Cardano is one of them that it's trailblazing in that direction. But if you think about all these blockchains, they're all evolving organisms, right? And for the ones that are not very familiar with like soft forks or hard forks, historically, blockchains have had adaptations, which are forks, to make it better. Ethereum had a reverse transaction block after the DAO scandal, right? And if you think about Bitcoin, Bitcoin has a community that could easily adopt a more robust code that could be quantum computing proof. Certainly, they're there. Certainly, those hacks could happen, but I think that it's all more about a community and how the community will evolve from that and adoption of that digital asset than a risky situation against a hack. I think about it this way, right? Economies can get flushed, but an economy is only a reflection of its community, and it will get back into its feet. I really wouldn't see like all the money that has been pouring into Bitcoin just being slashed away, given an attack.
No, it's interesting because we're starting to see those, right? We're starting to see some of those nefarious characters come out of the woodwork, and a lot of people don't talk about it, but it started. Another topic. So you're teaching at UCLA and blockchain and marketing strategy. What do the students want to know about today?
It's interesting because historically we started the curriculum back in 2017, right? And the interest to the curriculum fluctuates with the market, and I think it's natural. So now students are much more mature in understanding the opportunity of blockchain and how this technology is going to pour into becoming kind of the glue of all frontier tech, like AI, VR, AR, machine learning, and all of those, how they're going to operate decentralized and within a blockchain or with a blockchain.
So let's talk about it, Alex, just to paint a picture with words, because we have a very wide audience from all over the world. So let's take one particular scenario. Let's talk about AR. And just from your perspective, how would the blockchain, what benefit does AR get from the blockchain?
Oh, incredible benefits, right? Because you want to think about a blockchain as a accounting book or a ledger, right? That is distributed. But I use the metaphor as an accounting book because I think it's easier to paint a picture that you are record keeping things and record keeping transactions. So on AR, we've been seeing incredible use of AR for education, across different industries, across oil and gas, across biotech, across complex surgeries like brain surgery or spine surgery. And for those of you who are not familiar with that application, it's a human using a virtual goggle or some kind of virtual device, right? And interacting with a layer of virtual reality over a, a physical reality. So think about all the economic benefits that you could bring by someone training how to do brain surgery and really performing those trainings to a level of excellence. And you could take it to other industries like
Yeah,
oil and gas.
training without ever having to go through it, or training actually if you're assisted during the operation, right?
Exactly, right? Without the risks of making a mistake.
Hmm.
Making a mistake in oil and gas can cost you like millions and millions of dollars. So how do you train a workforce to do that, right?
Yeah,
And
making a
then,
mistake in the surgery can cost you a whole lot more than that.
yeah, it could cost your life, right?
Yeah.
Exactly. So um, improving those utilizations, and then you want to think about blockchain there as a record keeping, right? So how do you
Mhm.
record keep degrees or certifications of people that have been through that educational path and are at the excellence of their industry, and how do you move those data points across multiple stakeholders without exposing some sensitive data. Uh, so certainly think about blockchain not only as cryptocurrencies that are paying things, which could be like you could be playing a virtual reality game and making an earning through play to earn and being rewarded by blockchain cryptocurrencies or in-game currencies. So certainly think about blockchain as more of like a accounting book that's record keeping all those different utilizations and benefits of all these frontier technologies.
Okay, so now let's add another layer. Let's talk about the conversions of artificial intelligence in the blockchain. What are the benefits that we have with AI coming into the blockchain and this merger that's taking place?
Yeah, and then you think about it, it's just endless, right? And it's almost like boiling the ocean. What could you do with artificial intelligence? We're now from a company standpoint looking at all these various bots and robots for trading and for liquidity pools and how do we integrate institutional money into it and what parameters we use and how artificial intelligence can look at a variety of signals, can look at on-chain data as like past behavior, can look at social sentiment as future signals, can look into wallets of movements of like where people are moving money. So it's really endless the opportunities that we're going to see with AI, and not even talking. And this is only in the financial sector, right? If you bring AI through all the other sectors of the economy, you can really open a lot of opportunities all the way from like predictive analytics, situational markets, best case scenarios for terrible situations. Like, for example, what are we experiencing, right? Are we going to raise interest rates in a slowing economy that's not going to grow? Like, how could artificial intelligence probably play out all these scenarios and point out the better opportunity for investors or for the general economy?
Yeah, no, it's going to be interesting. So, what's the future look like? It's, I mean, things are a bit unstable right now, but what's the future look like over the next, let's say 5 years? Where are we going to go with blockchain? What's going to happen in your perspective in terms of? So, one is the vertical markets are going to start to see more adoption when it's becoming mainstream, but when is it truly going to become mainstream? And when are people going to realize that the blockchain exists? Because right now it's just a concept and they don't see it, right? They don't understand smart contracts and all that. But what do you see over the next 5 years?
Uh, I think that just like every other tech, right, it's going to become part of your daily life, which you don't even think about, right? Do really people think about when we had analog cell phones, and now what are we doing with 5G, right? It just becomes this natural evolution that people use as an adoption curve and just becomes part of their reality. And I think that that's what we're going to see, where people are probably not going to use the word blockchain anymore, and it's just going to be the technology that makes all the record keeping among all the other frontier tech integration, and how do you operate that. So probably what we're going to see, and this is one of our theses, is a greater adoption of some of the bellwether cryptos like Bitcoin or Ethereum, and obviously the continual evolution of what are the next rising ones. But blockchain as a decentralized database is just going to become the status quo.
It's interesting too, Alex. I don't know about you, but I mean, we got a whole lot. It's like in the beginning. I happen to. I've been in tech for 37 years, so I've seen a lot of changes. And I remember when the first. I had an Apple II, so I actually was at that time. So I had the first Apple computer, and I didn't have the wood one, but I had the production model of the Apple. And so, I've seen the changes take place, but we're at an incredible pace. I mean, the opportunity, the digital transformation's given us opportunities all over the world. Here we are on StreamYard, which was founded in 2018, Zoom, which was founded a few years ago. Our lives have fundamentally changed. And at the same time, we have issues with security, which blockchain helps. We have issues with contracts. I mean, people know just in real estate, right? You've gone through the real estate process has been a pain in the butt for years. It's a pain to try to get somebody to do the agreements. Now we put on the blockchain, everything changes. If we have smart contracts. So, we're an incredible opportunity in our lives, and we're going to see a lot of incredible changes take place. We need to be vigilant with security issues around us. We need to understand quantum computers a bit more. Most people don't know what a quantum computer is, right? They don't understand it. But now as we start to use it for things like drug discovery during COVID, we start to mix it with AI and supervised AI, be careful what you ask for, right? There's going to be a lot of changes taking place. We talk about empathy and compassion, right? Bringing that into especially with some of the unsupervised AM models we're working on today, to be able to make it so it's more human-like and caring instead of very pragmatic. Because if you have pragmatic and you deal with people like human beings, not good things may happen. Sometimes we don't treat each other the right way, and we've got an incredible planet, and we need to figure out how to use these technologies. I spoke at the United Nations about 4 months ago as technology is a tool for peace. And, I basically said, we need to create opportunities for everybody around the world so that people can take care of their families, to be able to eat right, to be able to help our planet, repair itself a bit. So we don't have the, fundamental climate changes that are forecasted now. So we can make this life a bit better. So it's great that you're teaching. You've been teaching blockchain for 10 years. I mean, that is 11 years. That's a long time. That was right at the beginning. So it's incredible to have you on the show. Tell us a little bit about your book, by the way. So you're best-selling author. Tell us about the book and when was that published?
So it was an interesting dynamic because, and just to make it clear, we started teaching blockchain at UCLA around 2017. I've been teaching at UCLA for a little bit over 10 years. So I appreciate in technology and marketing and, ways of using marketing for tech for online marketing and other similar.
Okay, I was thinking to myself, man, you are the visionary of the blockchain.
Yeah, no, I wish.
10 years, 11 years and 10 months.
I would have been friends with Satoshi Nakamoto.
Exactly. That's what I was going to say.
No.
I was going to say, next, is there something I need to know about?
Yeah, exactly, right. No, I think that the book was an interesting dynamic because we started the curriculum as the market was booming, right? And then in 2018, the SEC pronounced itself, saying that most ICOs were unregulated securities. As ICOs were part of were very native to the industry, we needed, as an institution, as an educator, and obviously as a financial firm that looks at institutional ways of applying capital to blockchain projects, we needed to do this by the books, and we needed to follow the rules that were being set, and that's our bread and butter. So there wasn't really a textbook that was covering that, because it was like pre-July 2019 when the SEC approved the first tokenization of a security. So we created a book that was mainly focused on educating entrepreneurs, executives, right? C-level executives, managers, and students that weren't necessarily tech people or software engineers or computer technicians. So it was mainly about the utilization of blockchain for different enterprise grade solutions, understanding how crypto works and what are the fundamentals of this new technology, and very much how does blockchain and tokenization of assets was being used by the financial sector and could be used for the benefits of startups, for the benefits of financial institutions that are looking to tokenize illiquid assets. So it was a very much more like business-prone approach to explaining blockchain, and it's what we have been using at UCLA and at a lot of corporate education. You sit with like a C-level executive and you start talking about very deep tech acronyms, you lose him at hello. So we try to make things like a little bit more palatable and understandable about the macro concepts.
No, that's great. All right, well, we're coming to the top of the show. Closing thoughts, and how do people get a hold of you?
You can follow us online. I'm Alex Nascimento, UCLA on LinkedIn. You'll find me. It's a black and white picture. 7cc Invest on Instagram, and happy to continue the conversation offline. This is something that we take a look every day, and if you're worried about what's happening in the market today, I would recommend take a look at the historical data, because we're in a cycle and things are gonna be better.
Sounds great. Alex, thanks for taking time out of your busy schedule to join my show today. And thanks for my entire audience for making GSD Presents Silicon Valley AI and Tech possible. My name is Gary Fowler, and I'm the host. Stay tuned for another exciting edition next Tuesday. Stay safe, stay happy, and most importantly, stay healthy. And I'll talk to you soon. Thanks, Alex. I really appreciate it.
I appreciate it. Take it easy.